Hello students, standard 7th revision of chapter number 13 in physics. The motion and time. Now in this chapter we learn about the measuring the speed, measuring the time, pendulum, simple oscillatory motion, and so on. Now, when we learn about this journey, like how much time you take to cover particular distance, or at particular time interval, what was the speed, etc. So, suppose the children are going in a school picnic and then they travel some distance, then some of the students can measure the distance in particular time period, like every half an hour. So then if we represent that data graphically, pictorially, then it is easy to understand. And that about that thing you already learned in the mathematics also, in the data handling. You learn about the different graphs like bar graphs or the circle graph, pie chart, or a line graph. Graph can be drawn with the straight lines or it can be with the curved lines also. So now, what is actually the graph? A graph is, as we told that, you know about graph, that graph is the pictorial representation of the given data. And it is useful to represent the data very easy way. And it is also easy to understand this data. And it is also used to study the relation between two interdependent physical quantities. Because sometimes we say that sometimes the different quantities are dependent. One can be dependent on the other, and one of them can be independent also. So the value of that physical quantity can vary itself. It means it does not depend on other quantity. That is known as independent variable. And for example, time. Does time depend on anything? No. Time does not depend on anything. It will go on its own. So time is an independent variable. While the distance, then we have to check the distance covered in some time. It means distance depends on the time. That in how many seconds or how many minutes you cover that distance. Speed also. And so other many things. So here, those other which are depending on the time, depending on the distance and time, they are known as dependent variable. Now, here in this chapter, we have to understand about the distance against time graph. Distance against the time graph. It means that if you note the distance covered by an object in particular time interval, like that given in this table, which shows that on the school picnic started at 8 a.m. Then some of the students checked the reading on the odometer when they were started. And then at 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, like that. At a particular time, they again note down the reading on the odometer. And from that calculation, they can find out that in every time of interval of half an hour, what was the distance covered by the bus. So, if you see that table in your book also, you can see that at the time 8 o'clock, the distance shown in the odometer was 36,540 kilometers. It means that bus had already covered that distance before they started the journey. It means that time the distance cover can be 0. Now at 8:30 a.m., they saw that odometer reading was 36,560. So now by subtracting, you get that in this interval it covered 20 kilometers. Similarly 9 o'clock, similarly 9:30, 10 o'clock. Then they saw that in every time interval the distance covered was almost equal, 20 kilometers every half an hour. Now we can represent that data on graph which is known as distance against time graph. It is also a line graph. Now to draw the graph, we need a graph paper. And I hope everybody is familiar with the graph paper. On a graph paper, as I show you in the figure here, you can see that there is the lines vertical and horizontal at the same distance there, in which if you draw in the middle a horizontal line and a vertical line exactly at right angle, then this is XO X dash and the vertical is YO Y dash. So that are known as the axis. So on graph paper, a horizontal line XO X dash, as we saw that horizontal line, that is known as X axis, and that vertical line YO Y dash is known as a Y axis. And at the point where they intersect each other in the middle, at point O, that point O is known as the origin on the graph. Now on the both side of the point O, we represent the numbers. On the right side the positive numbers on the x-axis, on the left side negative numbers. Similarly on the vertical y-axis also, to the upper side of the point O, we represent positive, and downside we represent negative. But as in distance time graph, we don't need negative numbers because distance or time cannot be in negative. And therefore, when we draw the graph, look at here, the pink colored part only we can have to take. So we don't need to take the whole 4 parts. So you can take only that pink part because it is the required thing. Because we have to take only the positive numbers. Distance also not going to be in the negative. Time also cannot be in the negative, that minus 30 minutes or like that. Therefore, we have to take that limited part only so that it is convenient to draw the graph. Now, when we draw the graph, we have to generally take time, means whatever is the independent variable is represented on the x-axis and dependent variable will be on the y-axis. Now, on the x-axis and on the y-axis, first we have to choose a particular thing which is known as the scale. On the both axes we have to choose a proper scale, that one unit on that graph paper will represent how much, because distance can be so much and we cannot represent big numbers. So you have to choose a proper scale, and by using that scale we have to represent the value of time and value of distance on x-axis and y-axis represented respectively. So now, as I told you, we have to choose a proper scale. Like on time x-axis, there are parts of 1 centimeter, we can say 1 unit. So now, if there are so many time intervals, then you have to choose according to here. Here we can see that 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10. So every 1 centimeter you can take half an hour. Starting from 8, then 8:30, then 9, then 9:30, and so on. And then on the y-axis, also we can choose a proper scale such that the highest kilometer is like 80 kilometers, then you can represent that. So you can take 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. If there are more high values, you can choose another also. So it depends that how big are the values that we have to represent. So by choosing the proper scale, we have to check that every minute, every time interval, what is the distance covered. And then we have to plot the points on the graph paper one by one. And then by putting the point regarding to the x-axis and y-axis, then I will show you here on the board that how can we represent that thing using the scale and draw the graph. So, to represent the graph, as I told you, we need only this part, we don't need that whole part. So here we can represent our time, like here you can take 8 o'clock because that time the distance is 0. Now at the same interval time we can put here 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock and so on. Now we know that distance is 20, 40, 60. Then we can take here. We know that on the graph paper there is 1 centimeter, every 1 centimeter. The marks are there, means the parts are made. So here you can choose the scale of 10 kilometer, 20 kilometer, 30 kilometer, 40 kilometer, 50 kilometer, 60 kilometer, 70, 80, 90, 100 and so on. Now we know that at 8 o'clock, bus starting means distance covered is 0. So that will be the point here. That is your x-axis and that is your y-axis. Y dash, x dash. Here is your point O. That is the origin. Now at 8:30, the distance covered was 20 kilometer. So here 8:30 is here. The line going from that and 20 kilometer. The line going will be there. It will be already there in your graph paper. So we need that point only, at which that both lines meet each other. That is your 8:30 and 20 kilometer. At 9, the distance covered was 40 kilometer. So at 9 and 40, where they would meet? They will meet somewhere here. Then 9:30, 60 kilometer. Then 10 o'clock, whatever is there, we have to represent it 80. Then with the scale, you have to draw that graph. So that is your distance against time graph. Because here we saw the distance. Here we represent the time. So it is known as distance against time graph. And by that way you can easily find out. Now what are the advantages of this distance time graph? Here we can understand that graph is straight. It means that it is the uniform motion, because at every time interval the distance covered is the same here. Similarly, we can understand the other thing also, like the distance here. Now if you want to see that at somewhere between, like between 9 to 9, that is the 9:15, how far was the bus from the origin, means from the starting point? Then what can we do? That we can draw line, perpendicular line to the graph, and then from there again going to the y-axis. Then you can understand that here it will be somewhere distance different. So at any point, any time, after 8:30, 8:35, 8:40, 8:45, 8:50, you want to know the time distance, means at which place will be that, you can easily find out that thing. Similarly, what is the other thing? That it shows, as I told you, if it is not a straight line and like a curved line or a zigzag line, then you understand that that graph shows in accelerated or the different type of motion. And by this way you can compare the distance covered by two different things also. You can choose two graph on the same, and then you can have the comparison also. So, and as I told you that when you choose the scale, you have to be very particular so that every number can be easily represented. And it is easy to mark these points. So that time interval and the interval here for the distance will be according to the given data. If data is too large, distance are very big, then you can, here I took 10, 20, but you can take 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Or if it is still bigger, then you can say 50, 100, 150, 200. So it depends which type of figures are there, and then you can represent the different types of values and then draw the graph. So, as I already explained you, you can draw your graph on your own. You can try in your graph book using this. Then I will send you in the PDF file also. So here we are going to finish the revision of this chapter also, which will be followed by some question answers that I couldn't give you in the beginning. So you have to write it down, and if any confusion, tell me in the comment section. Thank you very much.